Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be painting an LSU themed tiger's eye, and the reference photo that I chose for this painting is up in the top left corner. You can see I masked out a few areas on the fur just to help me preserve the whites and some of the darker areas, and to keep the integrity of some of his whiskers up there by his eye. I'm using M-Gram colors. I'm using nickel quinacridone yellow, a little bit of sepia and red iron oxide for my gold colors to get the depth that I want. And eventually, when I move on to the purples, I will use a mineral violet and ultramarine blue and a little bit of sepia to get my darkest darks in the purples. Initially, when picking colors out for this painting, I knew that I was going to use the quinacridone gold. It was just the perfect gold LSU color. So when choosing the purples, I originally tried to use a dioxazine violet just because it is a darker value color and I knew it could get the darks that I wanted to achieve without adding much more to it. Unfortunately, when I began to play with the colors on my palette, the transparent nature of the dioxazine made a muddy mess with the quin yellow. So I changed gears and grabbed my mineral violet because it is a very opaque purple, and I ended up having to add ultramarine to darken up some spots, but it turned out beautiful and it laid over the portions of the gold that I needed to cover with purple, and it did not create mud. Because of the unnatural colors that I was using to paint this, I decided to make the eye of the tiger more realistic, but as I got out towards the fur, I wanted it to be a little bit more impressionistic and loose. So you can see I'm just dabbing my paintbrush into the quin gold, and then I'm taking a clean paintbrush and bleeding out some of the edges around the ends of the fur and tapping in some darker colors where I think they need to be. And I will continue to adjust the darker areas throughout the painting. Here I start putting in that mineral violet, and as you can see, it lays over the yellow and it does not make mud, so I was real happy with that color choice. However, when I was attempting to get the mineral violet darker, I couldn't. It's not a dark enough value color, so this is where I decided to start adding some ultramarine to the mix. And the technique that I'm using to paint the purple stripes is the same technique that I used to paint the gold stripes. I'm just laying down blotches of color, leaving a few white specks, and bleeding out the areas that I think need to be bled out. As the painting progresses, you'll notice that I am trying to keep my darkest darks right around the eye, which is my focal point. And I also pull them up to the top right corner and down towards the bottom left corner a bit, just because that's the way the actual LSU logo is shaped. When I got to the details around the eye, I mixed a really thick mixture of the mineral violet and the ultramarine, and I attempted to get my darks with just those two colors, but it wasn't dark enough, so I will eventually mix sepia into that mixture, and that provided me with the darks that I needed. At this point, I'm just about done. You see that I have removed all the masking fluid around the eye and up in the whiskers, up in the top stripes, and I really like the effect that it gave. The only masking fluid that's left now are the whitest whites of the highlights of the eyes. And once I get done painting that and adjusting my values inside of the actual eyeball a little bit, I will be done. If you like this video and you do want to support my channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. As always, my social media links are in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.